Albert AWOL, the voice of the jungle, broadcasting on the DVC to all points unknown. If you're within the sound of my voice, you're listening to Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Hello and welcome home. This episode of Welcome Home is brought to you by DVC Rental Store. Thank you for joining us on episode 255 of Welcome Home, a Disney Parks and Vacation Club podcast. I'm Tom. I'm here with Trevor and Damon. What's going on, guys?
I feel like I've been podcasting all weekend already.
Well, you already did the golden button, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what it feels like.
Wow, yeah.
It feels like when I was doing the other podcast, and then I really felt like I was doing 2 podcasts in a day was tough.
Well, you had to do like prep for that one though, right? Like you had to like watch shows and stuff.
Yeah, it was too much, man. It was too much.
You don't have to do any prep for this one. You can just glide in and
No, I mean I gotta be out there on Facebook though. Like I mean I do my Facebook prep to make sure that I'm at least understanding of what's going on in the Disney world.
Yeah. I like that, the Disney world.
I feel like that's a lot more passive though, because there's just like continually information coming out about Disney, right? Versus sitting down and binging like a
Netflix series,
like binging a whole show. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. I have to say, so I was looking at the Facebook page for the questions, to see what questions people sent us, and I just saw this post that Dan K made with the wheel of all Dan's and Chris's. It's just for the content. It just made me laugh really hard. Mm-hmm. Dan, Chris, Becky's got mostly Dan's and Chris. So, but I just thought that was funny. I appreciate, when you guys do really funny memes and stuff like that. And this was, I don't know, does this qualify as a meme? I guess it does, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's always funny because we get going on the conversation and it's so like stream of thought. And then I'll see a meme come out and I actually have to like think about it. Like I don't always get it at first. I'm like, what are they talking about? And I have to like kind of go back through and think about what we were talking about for the episode. And then it's like, oh, right, that thing.
Well, this happens all the time though, where people will be like, you said X on this episode. And no, but I did. Okay. I probably did. I mean, I don't remember.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember the things I say on this show pretty much immediately after I say them. So that's how that works.
Which is good because then it gives us more stuff to talk about.
It's just exactly. So we got a lot of listener questions this week because there's not a ton of Disney news. So we haven't done a bunch of listener questions in a while. So why don't we do some of those?
Yeah.
So I'm going to start with the Discord people and we'll move to the Facebook people after. So, Joe Jam, I don't know what your actual first name is. I'm guessing Joe, but via Discord, any recommended ADRs for Disneyland or must-do dining spots? This is a Trevor question written all over it. Our wait lists for Disneyland Hotel and Grand Californian actually came in. We've never had a WDW waitlist come through. To help you with recommendations, we're all age 19 and over, not really into seafood, non-drinkers. We'll do character dining if suggested. Would like to know the best spots in the parks, resorts, downtown Disney if possible. Maybe a best in each. Realize that this is geared towards Trevor. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so Trevor, I think you've given your recommendations before, but I think it's always good because we have new listeners and it's been a while.
Yeah, and so Joe got some replies back on this already, and I actually answered this as well for him in the Discord, but I'll reiterate it here for anybody else that's looking into this as well. So some of the recommendations, Napa Rose is in the Grand Californian. So perfect since you're actually staying there. Fantastic sit down meal. The other, or in California Adventure, there's Lamplight Lounge, which is again very nice sit downs. There's also hold on, I'm forgetting the name of this. It's the one right on the main street in California Adventure, but I'll come back to it in a minute as soon as I remember the name.
It's so hard to remember all these names for things.
What is it called?
I'm really bad at remembering stuff like this.
Yeah, I'll find.
You're gonna have to Google while you're talking. Yeah.
The other one that I recommended was Blue Bayou, which Blue Bayou holds that special place in my heart as like it was like the first place I'd seen where it's like, hey, there's like a restaurant inside of a ride, and that's that. Like that, the ambiance alone is like amazing, but it's good Cajun food. Like I really enjoyed it, and again, I think that's the best sit down in the Disneyland park. But the other one, hold on, I've almost come on. There we go. Carthay Circle. That's the other one. I'm like,
I almost said that,
Disney.
but I didn't want to sound like an idiot because since I hadn't been there.
No,
you know?
no, yeah. Carthay Circle is the other one that is it's themed to like when Walt came to California. Like it's very like 1930s, 1940s kind of theme to it, which is very cool. So it's that, but like not like Tower of Terror. It's not run down. It looks very nice. So, yeah. So those are the main sit downs, and all of them are good. The thing about Disneyland is that they don't have quite the spread of restaurants that the other parks do, but the ones that they do have are very, very solid. And that's not to say that the Disney World ones are not solid, but having more options means that you're going to find, I think, more stuff that you don't like than stuff that you do like.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So yeah, hopefully that works for Joe. And yeah,
if anybody else has any other suggestions, throw it in the Facebook page.
Yeah, absolutely.
This came from Discord, so if you're not in the Discord, then you can do it in the Facebook page. So
yep.
This one had quite a response in the Discord as well. This is Brian via Discord. I like this question. Question for everyone: what are your thoughts on saving tables at quick service restaurants? I feel like this is going to be a fun one. So,
who wants to go first?
I'll go. So, personally, in my family, the way that we typically work, and I mean, it used to be a little bit different because, like, I would wait in line for the food and I would go get it, and then my wife would, while I was doing that, she would go find a table. But now with with the mobile ordering, right, like that you can do, we pretty much always do that when we do quick service. But we still kind of tend to do the same thing where we'll together go and find a table now, and then once it's ready, I'll go up and get the food and bring it back. I think I don't love when people are saving tables when there's like, hey, all of my family is on Splash Mountain, and then they're going to come to this quick service restaurant, and then we're going to eat. Like, that's not okay, right? But like, I'm okay with it. Like, if you're literally in there getting food immediately, and then are going to go sit down,
Yeah, that's fair. I'm kind of the same way. Like if you, or I guess the thing is that there's ordering, and then also there's mobile ordering. Like the thing is that when I'm mobile ordering, we'll go find a table first, and I'll be doing the mobile orders, or walking up and then like sit down, do the mobile order, wait for it to be ready, and then go get our food.
Yeah.
Again, I think that's okay. And the interesting thing about mobile ordering is it does create a perception that you're just sitting there doing nothing, but you don't you don't know who's mobile ordering and who's not. I agree with you on the same thing that, if there's one person or, one or two people and they've got like a huge, like, a booth or, like multiple tables, and they're like, oh no, our party's coming. But you can clearly see that it's like, there's no sign of these people showing up anytime soon. I think that's kind of rude. I actually have a story on this too from our last trip. So we were in Tomorrowland Terrace, and it was like our second last day there or something like that. We were grabbing lunch. We went to Tomorrowland Terrace. So it was kind of busy. So, we sat down and we got our food and everything. We were eating, just minding our business. And then this I don't want to say girl. I mean, she looked like she was like 19 or 20 years old kind of thing. She comes over, and the tables next to us are all empty at this point because like people had gotten up and left. She starts grabbing the tables and trying to pull them together. And we're just like, whatever, we're ignoring it. And then she says to us, or she actually turns to us and goes, would you mind holding these tables? I need to go up and get food, or, my friends are getting food. And we're like, okay, like I'm not going to sit here and like guard these tables for you. But we're like, we'll try, but I can't guarantee anything. And then so she left, and then literally like 2 minutes later, a cast member walks over and moves the tables back where they were. And we said to the cast member, we're like, oh, there was a girl here that was trying to hold these. And she's like, well, they can't be like this. These tables can't be bunched together. And we're like, okay. And so we finished our meal and we got up and we left. The thing is that we were like halfway through our meal. We finished eating and then we got up and we left, and this girl was nowhere in sight. So like she was gone for quite some time. So I don't even think it was like she was like going up to get her food like she had ordered or whatever. It was like, I think she went and like got in line and everything, which I get is, it's busy there and everything, but maybe next time, instead of you being the only one coming to hold the table, like split your party, or, get people to go and sit where they're supposed to sit, and then, take turns going up and getting your food. I just don't get the whole, like, like if you have a big group of people, I mean, one, make sure that the place can house you is the first thing. And two, except that if you're in a bigger group, because that's what I assumed, is that it was like, I assumed it was her, because there was a bunch of like large groups of teenagers around the park. There was cheer squads and everything. It's like split up into smaller groups, maybe, so that you're not taking up like, 5 tables next to one another. Because again, realistically, like when you're eating, if you have more than like 4 or 5 people at a table anyway, you're not having any kind of meaningful conversation. Like you're, if you're just there to eat, like pick a table, eat, and then leave, and you can have your conversation elsewhere. You don't need to be filling up, 5 tables with you and your friends. That's my take on it. So yeah,
I feel like there's no. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, I thought it was funny that she asked us to hold these tables, and it's like, I'm not gonna like fight. One, you're a stranger, I don't know you. Two, I'm not gonna fight to hold these tables because I know better that Disney's not gonna go for that, and also I'm not gonna get myself in a fight with other strangers because you wanted me to hold a table for you. Like,
yeah, I get that. Yeah. I it's one of those things, like when Disney's really busy, like those tables are really at a premium, and it almost becomes a sport, right? Of like trying to get a table, right? Because you're just looking for like the signs that somebody's starting to clean up, and then you're moving quickly, and you're like, are you leaving? Are you leaving?
Yeah, the Avatar one does a good job, though. I feel like the way that they kind of handle it. Yeah, because you can't get a table until after you get food.
Yeah.
And that's, you can send somebody in, but it's kind of not meant for that. So I do like that.
Does that now too.
Yeah, where like they kind of have people there that are like, all right, well, go get your food first. And that's kind of the way it should be. But again, they've made it this way.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's bad. I don't love holding tables, but I just don't think you have any other option because of the, but it would be better if it was set up a different way.
Yeah, sure. You don't want to be walking around with those trays in your hand without a place to put them, right? Because and
I think that's why they do a better job at the other places, because you're getting your food, and then you know what I mean. Like it makes it so that if people don't really hold, it's not so bad. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
but
the other thing too is I feel like I haven't seen a lot of instances of it, but also if you're at a quick service, it's like eat, finish, get up, leave kind of thing. It's like you don't.
Yeah, I guess you don't need to like plan the rest of your day out.
Yeah. Which, although I will say, funny enough, at Connections, the one night we were there, there was a guy that like he had a whole booth to himself, and he had like his laptop, he had his phone out on a little tripod. Like I think he was actually like live streaming or something, and he had a whole booth. And but the problem was that he had bought a drink, so he's sitting there with a drink from Connections, but then he's on his laptop doing whatever it was he was doing. But it's like
there shouldn't be any live streaming in the park. I feel like that would be great if that stopped.
Yeah, I'm
it's a
still
catch-22 for
Disney,
Disney.
But I'm kind of agreeing with you, because the vast majority of people who do it don't do it respectfully is the problem.
That's
right?
the problem. Yeah.
Like, what's very clear, like somebody's taking up like an entire booth for themselves so that they can sit there and live stream. It's like, come on, like you could have gotten up and left a long time ago.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I just cringe anytime I hear live streaming. I just maybe I'm just getting old, but it drives me crazy that the obsession of having to document everything either on the internet or on your phone. Like I just can't. I hate it. It's like,
I feel like it's very. There's lots of times where live streaming is great to include people, like to get people hyped up for something you're doing. But Disney, I don't think is the place for it. Like
Yeah, I feel like Disney doesn't have an incentive to stop it though, right? I think in a lot of ways they like the live streaming, right? Because it's like they like viral stuff. They like promote. Yeah, it's like the purple wall, like they embraced that, and then it became not a thing after they embraced it. But I don't know, maybe it still is. I don't know.
It's like the parent thing when you start using your kid's slang and then it becomes uncool.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
It's the same problem.
Exactly. Yeah. So. I actually had this too when we were waiting for we were trying to find a spot for Happily Ever After one night, and there was somebody that was just kind of like one person that was just standing there, like kind of like with their arms out, being like, "Oh, I'm saving a spot in the crowd here for 6 people," and I'm like, "That's not how this works. Like, you can't just do that." Like, and they brought food in there too. Like they were bringing food up to there. Like they were doing the quick service thing, but instead of saving a table, they were saving a spot in the front there, like right in front of in the castle. I'm like, what are you doing?
Eat your chicken tenders and watch Happily Ever After. Like,
that's what they were doing. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That was not cool to me. I'm not okay with that. So, all right. So Tony emailed us and said, "First, thanks for doing the podcast. I've enjoyed it for many years. I'm considering adding on more points. I currently own a Bay Lake Tower in Animal Kingdom." Oh, okay. Maybe this is my burner account.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I also own a Bay Lake in Animal Kingdom. I'm deciding between adding on at one of my current resorts versus adding another home resort. What is your opinion on home resorts? 1, 2, or more? If memory serves me, Tom and Damon both have 2, and Trevor has 1. If you were to add any more points, would any of you add to your home resort portfolio? I like that's a way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll go first on this. I have the Bay Lake Tower contract, but I don't stay there, right? Like, that was what was for sale from Disney at the time. So, I mean, honestly, I kind of think you should buy, it really kind of depends, right? Do you care about the, lowest dues? Do you care about the lowest amount to buy in? Do you care about the most amount of years left on the contract? Do you care about, I think it really kind of comes down to what matters the most to you, right? Like, and for me, we bought Animal Kingdom because we were staying at Animal Kingdom all the time, right? So it felt like it was a good price. It was good, the dues were good, and had a lot of years left on the contract. So for us, it just made sense to buy more Animal Kingdom. But I don't know if we would add another home resort at this point. I can't see us doing that. I could see us buying more Animal Kingdom. But I don't think we're going to buy, get into another home resort. But listen, it also is not a terrible thing to diversify your 11-month, booking possibilities if you like to book that far out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
go ahead.
I think the only thing I would buy is if I was buying, it would have to be a resort that existed within the park, right? If that EPCOT resort came to fruition. Otherwise, I don't care enough where my home resort.
You want one that's in the park now. Like, that's what you're, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the only thing that would make me really say, oh, that would be an interesting situation for me. Outside of that, nah, I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter where it is. Doesn't make any difference to me. I don't. There's nowhere that I need to stay that bad.
Well, for you, Damon, you care more about value than anything, right? Like you care about how much. Yeah.
No, because again, if the Epcot one was the most expensive one, I'd still want it.
That's fair. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the way I look at it. It would have to have a reason for it, and theming is not a reason for me at this point.
Location is though.
Yeah, location definitely is, and it has to be, like I said, it has to be like right there because otherwise it doesn't really affect me. And being in Epcot makes a huge difference for me as well.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. I kind of agree with Damon on this one that, obviously, yeah, we own entirely at the Poly, but, we did explore looking at other resorts and owning at other resorts. And even when the Disneyland Tower was coming around, we were talking about buying points there, but we decided against it because of mainly because of timing. Like we looked at the cost of points, and it didn't make sense for us to buy at that time, and also the fact that they have the additional tax on the rooms kind of made it a little less appetizing. But that actually was its location, but it's having points on the West Coast and having points on the East Coast. So for us, we're absolutely open to having points at different resorts. And kind of like Damon, you know, if there was a resort that was like, hey, this is attached to one of the parks, I would definitely be very interested in that, because knowing how the Grand Californian is in Disneyland, having a resort like that in Disney World, where it's literally like walk out of your hotel room and you're in the park kind of thing. I'm all for that. And knowing that comes at a premium as well. So
I feel like that's going to happen sooner rather than later.
I think location is a big thing, but then, you know, outside of that, I feel like, you know, Tony's saying he's got 2 different resorts, and, you know, if those work for you, great. I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, it does come down to your situation. If you feel that, you know, having a 3rd resort makes sense for the way you travel, like maybe it's, you know, there is another resort that you decide that you want to make sure you have that 11-month at, that may be the thing to investigate. Or, again, you know, cost of points is maybe, you know, Saratoga, just so you can get more points without, or, you know, upfront more points without having to
pay too much more.
Yeah, pay too much more. But then again, you're also having to make sure that you're, or, you know, you're lining up use years and all that kind of stuff too, which I mean, does even applies, like if, you know, buying at the same resort, you still have to do the same thing. But I think that, like, it really does depend on your situation. And I wouldn't say, like, you know, having multiple resorts is a bad thing. Like, you know, if I had the money for it, I would definitely have, you know, points at a lot of resorts, and I would stay there a lot more than I do. But, yeah, I think it really depends on your situation and what you value the most. Like if it's simpler to just add on to your existing resort and, you know, deal with the 7 versus 11-month windows, that may be the best choice for you. So, yeah, it's a very nuanced thing, right? Like it's not easy to say, like, oh yeah, you know, you've got 2 resorts, so you should just stay with those, or you should, you know, maybe you should look into a 3rd or not. Like I don't know that we could ever really, I don't know if we could ever really, like, give a definitive answer on the best way to approach it, because, you know, even the 3 of us talking, we all have our own angle on it, right? Like we all have our own priorities on why we have what we have with DVC. So, yeah,
exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know if that really answers your question, Tony, but we tried our best.
Hopefully it gives them something to think about.
Yeah, I give you a variety of ideas here. All right, so Jeremy, the new co-host of Golden Button Detours, asks, what is your favorite DVC room category and location for your family? I presume for Trevor, it's a Poly Studio. Yeah, I mean, Poly Studio Lakeview, right? Yeah.
It fits. It works. It's everything we want.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty clear that my favorite, I mean, I've made this clear on the show before, is the Savannah View at Animal Kingdom. I'm okay with Kidani or Jumbo. It doesn't matter to me. Yeah, that's probably our number one. I mean, that might change at some point, but, you know, that's where we like to be.
I think mine's probably a 2-bedroom. I mean, I'll take Old Key West, to be honest with you.
Oh, you like Old Key West, yeah.
I do. I do like it because I just like the point situation and the room size. I mean, again, theming for me, I can go to any of those parks, and it's not like the pools or water parks. I mean, once they took down the clown, it was all over anyway. So, no.
I mean, the slide's the same.
It doesn't matter.
It
doesn't matter.
It's not the same.
Nope.
It's just not the same if you're not coming out of the clown's mouth.
Exactly.
Yeah. What was it? Oh, I was going to mention to you guys. So my trip just changed a little bit because we, unfortunately, 2 of the people that were in our party can no longer come with us. And so they were going to be staying in our 2-bedroom. So now we have a 2-bedroom for 3 people. And I said to my wife, I was like, that feels excessive. But, like, there's no other options. We're less than 2 months out here, right? So it's like, there's no studios left. There's no 1-bedrooms left.
Wait, so, I mean, did they have a good reason, or did they just rope-a-dope you?
It's a medical thing. So,
okay.
Yeah. So, but no, it's just kind of funny because, like, now we have 3 people staying in a 2-bedroom. Yeah, I know. It's going to be nice. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's just going to be my wife and I and my daughter in 2 bedrooms.
It's great, though.
Yeah.
Then you don't have to, I saw those things. Now you don't have to go to bed so early because they have their own room. You can put her to bed.
Yeah.
That's a W.
Yeah, she's going to have her own gigantic room with 2 beds in it.
The hard part is once you do that, how do you go back to not doing that?
Yeah, well, that's the 2-bedroom problem in general, right? Is once you go 2-bedroom, it's hard to go back. I mean, it's the same thing with staying in deluxe. Once you stay in deluxe, it's hard to go back, and that's how you end up with DVC. So Nathan asks, aside from beach yacht club, which WDW resort would you choose for a resort pool day? I don't want to be a homer here, but I'm also going to say Animal Kingdom and we have spent whole days just sitting out on our porch watching the animals. Like that's a big. I mean, it's basically like being at a zoo all day, except you can just sit there and go into your room if you want to. And plus, the kid pool at Kidani is awesome. Like they have a really cool kids area at Kidani, and then the pool that's over at Jambo, there's actually like you can see the savannah from the pool. So yeah, I mean, I personally really love the pools at Animal Kingdom.
I mean, for me, it's Old Key West because you can play tennis.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, the gym's pretty good. You can play tennis. I like that. Wait, is there pickleball now? I'm looking at the website. It says there's
I think they got pickleball now, yeah.
I feel like that's terrible, though. But okay.
It's funny how you've turned on pickleball, like how you were initially into it. Now I was just like...
initially, if you go back and listen, I was playing pickleball.
Yeah,
but I've always said from the start that it's silly. I've never said it wasn't. So I've never turned on it. It's just I'm not playing as much, but it is. Yeah, I mean, it's as silly as it was when it first started. But yeah, I would say tennis. I mean, that would be fine. They have basketball. They have, yeah, I'm doing Old Key West, to be honest with you.
Trevor,
maybe if I wanted to play golf, I guess you would say Saratoga.
Yeah.
Golf, but
if you're a golfer, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'll be honest, if I'm just doing a resort day, I have no desire to go outside of the Poly, mainly because that I'm staying there. So why would I? Like, I guess I would just stay at whatever resort I'm at. Like, I'm not too hard up to like try and find the best activities or whatever. I'm fine just like hanging out by the pool for a day. I don't need to make it any more complicated than that.
No, I get that. You just like a nice relaxing day. You don't need an activity.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. All right, and then our last question is Suze, or I don't know if it's Suze or Susie. I've always wondered this, but some people say that's Susie. So anyway, what's the best extra you've done at WDW, and what's the worst that one that you wouldn't do again? Perhaps also what's the best value, because that may be different to the best ever. So I'm going to say the best ever that I've done was Keys to the Kingdom, 100% worth it. Close. Oh well, I don't know. This is tough because a close second would probably be the private fireworks cruise we did on the lake that we got. Really? I think I talked about that before. I got it for free. Go ahead, Trevor. What were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say, you really think that was a big deal? Like we did that
fireworks
too.
Cruise?
Yeah, that was whack, man.
I mean, it was really expensive.
I mean, I didn't pay for mine either, but even not paying for it, it was whack.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. We liked having the nighttime like kind of tour of the lake, and like have the guy was stopping and showing us different things and like getting us close to like the island where they have where they used to have the little theme park there. Like,
but again, you didn't pay for it, and neither did I, and I didn't really care for it and didn't pay for it. I can't imagine paying for that.
Yeah, no, I don't know. If
getting ice cream and then doing it right. So yeah, it's tough.
I don't know if I pay for it, but we also did a private safari on our honeymoon, which it wasn't private. It It was like 10 people, and
but it's an extra. It's like a tour kind of thing.
Yeah. It was a special tour. We had to get up at like 6:00 in the morning to go on this tour, and it was only if you were staying in Animal Kingdom that they were doing it. And like the driver was one of the zookeepers, and like so you got to go onto the safari before anyone else did. So like it was literally the park wasn't even open yet, and you got to go out on the safari. So I gave you a top 3, but that's whatever. And then I will say the best value was the behind the scenes tour at Living with the Land, which cost like nothing and was fun.
It's more expensive than it used to be, but yes, I would agree with that.
It was so cheap that it was compared to other ones though, it was super cheap.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think I paid like $20 for it ahead when it was like when I did it.
Almost 40 a person now, I feel like.
Oh wow.
When we went, but it's still a good value. But again, I just don't know. Like, it was enjoyable, but how interested were the kids? Yeah.
I don't know if that's really a kid-friendly one, right? I feel like you need to be.
I mean, they weren't really even kids. I mean, gosh, they were, 19 and 17 or 16 or 18 and 16. And you know what I mean? Like, they weren't kids, but yeah, still in that range of like, was it interesting?
Yeah, I mean, at 18, I don't know if I was interested.
At that age. Yeah. At that age, nothing's interesting unless it's, whatever you're doing at the moment.
Yeah, that's true. Trevor, do you have any?
Yeah, I mean, so for me, the Disney After Hours events, because they're a separate. Yeah. Like, I know it's not like or I guess it is an extra because it is a ticketed event. I feel
it's not a paid extra.
Yeah.
It's well, it is a paid extra event.
Well, he's talking about the After Hours.
Oh, you're talking about the pay ones. You're not talking about Moonlight Magic.
Oh no, I'm not. Yeah, no, I'm talking about the paid ones. I feel that was really good and worth our time because, like, and I've said this before, like, it's a 3-hour event and you think that's not a lot of time, but you can get so much done in the park, and it's a totally different feeling. Like even from 9 o'clock to like 10 o'clock when the park officially closed, like, you just feel like the whole park empty out, and it makes for a really great experience if you can be up that late. Understandably, not everybody can be up until like 1 o'clock in the morning. For us, we've done that multiple times now, and it's always been we felt our best value of it like an extra ticket, because it's just pure like theme park madness, right? Like you can kind of get it all done and get everything done quickly in a night, which I love. The worst thing that I've done was the fireworks dessert party where they make you sit on Tomorrowland Terrace.
Yeah, because there's no good views.
Yeah, that to me felt like the biggest ripoff of a extra thing that I paid for, because after that we did the one where they take you over into the hub and there's like a special blocked off area where you stand in the hub. That was fantastic because you have an amazing view. There's not a lot of people in there because it is a ticketed event, and that to me felt way more worth it than, but you get to stay at your seat and sit there and have your dessert. It's like, I don't like, I'll be honest, the dessert parties are way too much sugar, and and that's even like my kid even agreed with that.
Can't make your money back on it because it's not real food.
Yeah. But the thing is like you eat so much, like my kid like ate himself sick the last time.
Well, that's kind of what you guys do.
Yeah. Which is like it's like you're kind of paying to punish yourself because, you feel like you have to eat to get your values worth out of it. And, but you end up feeling sick by the end, and then you just want to go home and go to bed. And I get it. I don't feel it's it's a very good extra. Like it's like even like for the Halloween parties and stuff, it's like, at all these events, it's like they love handing out like sugary snacks and everything. And, I like a good snack every now and then, but when you're like overdosing on sugar and then trying to enjoy like a fireworks show, it's not a good combination. So for me, that's the worst thing you can do for an extra at Disney.
Oh, another one we did, I just remembering, my wife and I just did it before my daughter was born. It was a sparkling dessert party at EPCOT where it was like they had like alcohol and stuff, and like you had your own. They had
that's dangerous.
Yeah, well, it wasn't. I think it was only like champagne, like it was just champagne, but like it was in like that building they have behind the World Showcase that like where they do like events and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then so you went in there, you had food and stuff, and they had music, and then. Afterwards, they brought you to a roped off area for illuminations at the time. So that was a really great one. We really had a good time with that one. I don't think they do that one anymore, but that was years ago. It was probably like 10 years ago at this point. But anyway, all right. Well, that's enough with the listener questions. Let's talk about other stuff.
All right.
All right. So the first thing I have on here is Topiaries, which I know is not everybody's favorite topic, but I thought they did some really cool things with Topiaries this year. Primarily the Groot one, which I think is cool. And I don't know if you guys saw this, but the tape deck actually like it moves, like the tape inside the deck actually moves.
Is it like
inside the cassette,
animatronic movement, or is it like projected movement?
It turns. No, it turns. It's actual.
Oh, okay.
It actually turns. Yeah, and it plays music too.
Like Soundwave. It's a mini Soundwave.
Yeah.
I wish. Transformers Topiaries sounds pretty awesome.
That would be pretty cool, actually. Yeah. Yeah, no, I have this Groot one, and then we have the other one here too. I think the cool one here is the
Dante from
Coco, right?
Yeah.
So they did this time. They they love using the projection mapping, and listen, I love when they do it. So this is a really kind of a cool one where they are doing projection mapping on a topiary, and specifically on this topiary of Dante from Coco. So I'm actually really excited to check this out when I go to when I go to Epcot. Hopefully I can get there at night, but hopefully the kids don't drag us back too early. But I really would love to see this. It just looks very cool.
It's the only problem with advertising projection mapping as the selling point on it is that you have to be there at night, right?
Yeah, you got to be there at night. It's no choice.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. Like I mean, don't get me wrong. It looks good. Like during the day, it still looks good, but you're kind of missing half the show if you don't have the nighttime stuff going on.
I agree. I'm a bit, normally I wouldn't get excited about like topiaries, but like I do find these very cool. Like I every time I see them, I think they're really cool works of art, My
only worry is that it'll turn eventually from being about topiaries to just like the effects can kind of take over the original intent, if that makes sense, or that like they get too far into like trying to do special effects stuff that you kind of forget that it's like, hey, there's all this effort being put into the topiaries themselves, right? Like,
yeah.
I
get that.
I don't know.
I'm cool with adding technology to it, though.
Yeah, I'm not entirely against it, just as long as they find that balance of not just turning it into more. I don't know, like there's enough statues around the park, right? Like you don't just need a bunch of statues. Like it should have some, I guess, meaning to it. And maybe I'm overthinking it. I don't know. I just feel like the topiaries, I feel like, they're kind of a very like iconic flower and garden thing. And if they start doing all this other stuff, that it kind of loses the point of the topiaries being there. Right?
I understand, but I feel like they're doing very subtle, small effects, right? They're not like over. I don't feel the Dante one's a little over the top, but like the rest of them are. I mean, the one for Groot is just like the tape spins a little bit on the inside, like that's really it. And plus it plays music, but it's nothing too crazy outside of that. But and then the Dante one too. I didn't realize it wasn't just projection mapping too. They also have like a glow in the dark paint on it too. So you can kind of see the paint at during the day, and then at night it glows. Yeah.
It's the phosphor or no, it's not phospholuminescent. It's just like
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly how it is, but all right. Well, anything else on topiaries? I'm excited to go see some topiaries when I go to Epcot. I actually just booked my dining reservations, by the way. And so we're doing some things that we haven't done in a long time. Like we're doing Space 220 for lunch, which should be fun for the kids. Doing Akershus, right? Trevor, that's how you say it correctly?
Akershus.
Okay. I said that. Doing that. We're actually doing that for breakfast, which should be an interesting one. But we know the kids are going to enjoy some some princess time, and then we're going to have an adult only dinner at California Grill, which I haven't done California Grill in a long time. That was always one of our go-to signature meals. So, and also, in all these years we've never done Tusker House, and so we're going to be doing Tusker House too.
Oh wow, yeah, that be interested to hear how that goes for you, because that's one that I haven't done either.
Yeah, I don't know why I've never done it. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law, they did it on their last trip, and they like really loved it. They said it was like their favorite meal of the trip, and like so I was like, okay, well it's
good.
Yeah, and it's character, so it's character dining, so it should be fun. Why don't we go ahead and do
what you can?
The character, So, Trevor, are you done with character dining now? Is that over? Is that
well? I mean, yeah, it's done with the excited kids doing character dining. It's not the same when it's teenagers.
I get it. All right, well, why don't we go ahead and do our ad, and then we'll talk about some other things here.
All right.
The sponsor of this episode is DVC Rental Store. The DVC Rental Store, a World of DVC company, offers magical vacations at incredible value. Save up to 60% off retail rates at premium Disney resorts. DVC Rental Store now includes deposits as low as 25% at the time of booking and a built-in cancellation policy for every reservation. And as always, DVC Rental Store pays out the most to members looking to rent their points. Want to learn more? Go to dvcrentalstore.com/welcome home or call 1-855-DVC-RENT. That's 1-855-382-7368. And when you speak to them, be sure to let them know that Welcome Home sent you. All right, so we've got some new things. I know you guys are all burnt out on Star Wars, but I felt like I needed to talk about this stuff. So
yeah, okay.
Which,
No,
by the
I thought
way,
we were past that already. I saw the ad and thought we were talking about Easter egg displays.
I reorganized in my head anyway. But no, so starting April 5th, they're going to be adding more to Star Tours, and which I'm surprised by this. Now they're going to have, with the additions, 250 storyline variations. Which, I mean,
yeah, because it's a factorial, right? Like,
every time you add one, yeah,
exactly. I know, but 250. I'm just surprised they're not subtracting any. I guess as they're going along, they're just adding and adding and adding, right? Guess they don't really need to.
This does nothing for me. Is zero.
The hard part about that is too much is a bad thing when.
Yeah, maybe I just want to see my old one that I love, and
like if there's a particular one that you like, then it's like you're like, oh, I hope I get that one, and you could ride it 7 or 8 times and never see what you want to see, right?
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, I like the variation just because it gives you its rewritability, right? Like, you can write a bunch of different times.
But it's getting kind of played at this point. Like, why even waste the energy here? I feel like
just Star Tours in general.
Yeah.
I mean, I still like Star Tours, but
you still got to take work and money, like.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it does. Well, yeah, because they have to hire the actors and the effects and all that.
Yeah, or they're probably doing it while they're recording these shows that they're tied to.
That's true. That's what they did with Guardians, right? Like they recorded the stuff while they were already on set recording the movie, right? So
yeah. Which the hard part is that going back to the whole too much Star Wars is it's like they're saying that there's stuff from Ahsoka, Andor, and The Mandalorian. Okay, I've seen some of The Mandalorian. I never finished watching The Mandalorian because I just got tired of it at the time. I haven't watched Ahsoka or Andor.
I heard Andor is great. I mean,
yeah, and I'm not saying that they're bad shows, but it's like it's becoming this thing where it's like you have to, or I guess you don't have to, but if you want to keep up with what they're referring to,
it's
you have to be invested in all these different shows.
It's literally why I don't watch Marvel. They did the same thing.
I mean, that's kind of the point, though, right? Like they're trying to get you to watch those things.
That's not.
But they're actively making us not watch them because it's becoming too much work.
It's actually becoming a job. Like even reading, Martin's stuff, you felt like okay, but at least it was self-contained in one book, and it might have been a little bit of work to remember what was going on, but this is like a job. I can't think about it. If you were to watch everything Marvel and everything Star Wars, and that means everything, any little thing that comes on, even the cartoon, even the series, dude, that's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot of content. Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm. Too much of the same content, whether it's good or bad, it becomes irrelevant, right? Even if you're eating a great meal, but you're eating it every day, at some point, I'm done.
I mean, everything I've heard about Andor is that it's very different from the other stuff, but
it's still Star Wars, though, man.
Which again, that's fine that it's different, but yeah, like Damon said, it's still Star Wars, and it's still
And I like The Mandalorian, but I'm with Trevor. I watched it all, but I was kind of just all right, man.
I guess this is the thing is, if I'm going to ride Star Tours, it's Star Tours used to be just it was the same thing every time. And it was fun because at the time it wasn't there wasn't a lot of simulator rides. Like when Star Tours came out originally, it was new and exciting, like everything else that we see now. It was the new hotness at the time. But yeah, it feels like
feels like money could be better spent elsewhere.
Yeah, it's in such a weird place because it even when you're looking at it, it's like, oh, in California, or not in California, in Hollywood studios, it's like, okay, you've got Rise of the Resistance, you've got Smuggler's Run, and then you got Star Tours. Well, I'm not going on Star Tours because that's like the old thing. Yeah. The old thing. So I'm going to go on these other things, but then they keep updating Star Tours, and it's like it feels kind of forced a little bit. Like I'm not trying to. I'm
kind of like they're running an ad.
Yeah, I'm not trying to knock on and say like every time they update this stuff it's bad, because it's I guess it's good that they are trying to breathe life into the attraction and not just letting it fall over and die. But it also, like you said, yeah, it feels like it's getting too far into they're just force feeding these things, and I guess Star Tours is easy because it's literally just updating scenes in the show the way that they've structured it. But yeah, I feel like I could ride it, and you could put like something like, you could put a scene from like Dune in there, and I probably wouldn't know the difference at this point, right?
But that's that's the thing though. Like, I don't.
What if they did sneak another show in there? What would you want to see?
Just snuck one in.
Snuck one in. What if it was like a Star Trek in there?
No, like a Muppet scene. There should be like a Muppet scene. Like all of a sudden, it's like just Muppet full on like.
See, now that would get me interested to ride it. I could get on board with that. Gravity Falls. Oh my goodness!
There needs to be like a hidden code, like on Smuggler's Run, where it's like if everybody does the right thing, you get like the Muppet scene.
Not even that, but like once every 10,000 runs, you get like Muppets.
It's like it's the golden ticket of.
Yeah, like you never know when it's going to happen, but man, that would make that ride. It would probably be absolutely mobbed if that was the case.
It's not a bad idea.
Well, the only problem with that is like once after you get to that 10,000, you show the Muppets. Then is anyone going on it for a while? Because they're kind of like, I'm not going to see the Muppets. Like, yeah, well, I love that though idea. That idea would be great.
Because the funny thing, you could have like a whole interaction between Yoda and Kermit, right? Because they're like,
well, I think it'd be funny if they just kept like one of the existing scenes from like the original and just recreated it with the Muppets, right? So it's like it's the exact same sequence of scenes.
Yeah.
It's just Muppets instead of the original characters. I think that would be perfect.
Yeah.
I think this is good. I like that they're keeping things fresh and changing it and adding to it. And like I said, I don't feel like I need to see these series to enjoy the ride, right? Like, I don't know. I can enjoy the ride without.
You go into a planet with a character you know nothing about.
I don't care. That's fun. I don't know anything about Pandora, and I enjoy, Flight of Passage. And
you never saw Avatar?
Nope, never saw Avatar. Still haven't seen it.
To be fair, the Avatar ride takes place after the movies that haven't even come out yet. So technically, we are
on the same page as everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, see, but I'm just saying, like, I can enjoy something just for what it is. Like, even if I'm not a fan of the IP, like, if it's a fun ride, it's a fun ride. I mean, and I just enjoy Star Tours. Usually, because I feel like the different scenes, they do different things with them. It's not just, jerking back and forth. Some of them, you're diving into things, I don't know. It's just, I feel like they do a good job of keeping it switched up and different, but I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
That's fair. Like, yeah, you're right. I guess you can just enjoy Star Tours for what it is. I guess the hard part is that I'm relating it from like my family, when given the option of all the stuff, it's like, we could do all this stuff. I don't want to do Star Tours. Like it's even if I wanted to go on Star Tours, it would be like I would be riding it by myself because nobody else in my group wants to do Star Tours. So
that's fair. Yeah, I mean, to me, Star Tours is one of those ones too that like if it's got like a 15-minute wait or like a 10-minute wait, I'm just gonna hop on because I can. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It's just one of those kinds of rides. So, all right, you want to talk about Easter eggs? Should we talk Easter eggs? I always enjoy these Easter egg displays every year. I feel like they do some really cool things. I mean, I'm always a fan of like the gingerbread houses and like, all of the creative stuff that they do. But so I'm just taking, and I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't post an official post on the Parks blog. Usually they do on the Parks blog. They'll go through all of them. So
I bet this is just early. I'm sure they will.
Yeah, maybe.
Because we're barely a week into March, right? Like I know Easter's coming, but they try and time this stuff closer to the actual holiday, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm just looking at, I'm just scrolling through these. I like the Mickey popcorn bucket one. Did you see that one? That one's pretty cool.
Yeah.
They made an Easter egg display with that looks like the Mickey popcorn bucket.
Wait, which one?
That one's the I think the first link.
I'm seeing the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse one. Which one are you looking at?
This is the Contemporary Resort one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Then I totally missed
one
that
of the first ones. Yeah.
The weird. Okay.
Yeah, it looks really weird.
I wasn't sure what that, because it's white with the flowers on it. It didn't. Yeah. Okay. I see how it looks like a popcorn bucket now. I was like, that's like a weird, like trying to be a hidden Mickey, but not really. But yeah, I guess it's supposed to look like the Mickey balloon. Okay. All right.
Yeah. I started off looking at the contemporary ones. I mean, there's some ones here that they had like last year, like, this pirate chest one that has like has the octopus on it. That one's pretty cool. There's a golden egg.
The golden egg is the most boring thing ever.
Yeah, it's just gold. It's like straight up gold.
Like what? And literally, like all it says is it's just covered in gold leaf. Like what?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
That feels to me like, you got an assignment and it's the night before and you have to turn in the assignment, like when you were in school and, and you panic and you just like, here's an egg covered in gold. Like,
all right, we need one more egg. What are we gonna do?
It feels like somebody didn't know what to do and they just like,
we got a bunch of gold leaf laying around. Just put it on there.
Especially for all these other ones, like there's Mr. Potato Head. Like I said, there's the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse one, which is kind of cool. I like that one.
I like this Eve one from the Wally and Eve one from Wally. That one's pretty cool. They have a Nightmare Before Christmas one, which is also very cool. I mean, there's a lot of really. I mean, I don't know if I'll have time. I mean,
that's what that is.
Yeah. I don't know if if I were there while this was going on, if I would like make the time to go see these, but if I happen to be walking by them, I'd check them out,
Yeah. If I happen to be in that hotel or in that vicinity, right? Like it's.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right, let's see what I'm looking at the Grand Floridian stuff now, and I don't know what this is. It's literally just showing a bunch of stuff you can buy in a display case.
Oh yeah, that's the food. Yeah, that's the food that you can get. But why don't we look at the contemporary ones?
Yeah. I thought we were looking.
I'm sorry, wait, not the contemporary ones. The beach club ones.
The
beach and yacht club ones. Yeah, sorry, my bad. Because they made one of the Groot topiary. They also made. It's not really an Easter egg, but it's some sort of statue of some sort.
It's a chocolate version of the Groot topiary.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I guess it's just is it chocolate? Yeah,
I would assume it's chocolate if it's in with all the Easter eggs.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Groot inspired egg. I don't see where the egg part of it is.
There's really no egg. Yeah, there's no egg going on.
He's okay. He's standing on top of a leafy egg, but it's hard to see with these pictures. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Got it. That's a little bit of a cop out. I mean, it's, not really an egg, but whatever. What else you got here?
I like the, go ahead. Yeah.
No, I was going to say, I like the EPCOT, the Japanese dragon topiary one from the Japan.
Yeah.
Is that the one you were just going to say?
Too. Yeah. Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah. I like that one. The Chip and Dale one's kind of nice too. That it looks like, again, they're doing the topiary. No egg in sight, but gets a pass.
Their bellies are their stomachs are kind of egg shaped. Like their midsections are egg shaped.
Yeah,
kind of.
I guess
sort of.
You can take interpretations with it, I guess. This teapot one's kind of a neat.
Oh yeah, that one's
take
cool.
On it because it is an egg, but it's like tipped over on its side, but then it's like a teapot, but then it also looks like it's made into like a little house.
Yeah,
very layered.
Yeah,
that's
pretty cool. Yeah, that one's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I also like all these Moana ones too. They have a bunch of Moana.
Oh
ones.
yeah.
The
Tamatoa one's really cool.
Yeah, that one is very cool. I like the little coconut guys too. Those are pretty cool. Tamatoa one is very cool though too. All right, I think that's probably enough for egg talk.
Yeah.
All
Which actually reminds me, I need to go shopping for some Easter candy.
Oh man! So I was at Costco a couple weeks ago, and Costco had a gigantic bag of my very favorite candy of all time, which just so happens to be an Easter candy, which is the Cadbury mini eggs. I love those. Oh yeah,
yeah, dude, yeah. That's bad news.
I love those things so much. I always go like right after Easter and buy so many, like a bunch of bags of them because they're like, it's my favorite candy and you can only get it during Easter. So I go to Costco and they had like a 4-pound bag of them there. And I was like, oh my God, like I need to buy this.
You're going to eat yourself sick.
I should have bought 2 of them, honestly, because like between myself just grabbing little handfuls here and there, my daughter being obsessed with them and, you know, every once in a while getting one, it's just like they're almost gone already. And it's just like, they probably don't even have them at Costco anymore.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah. Cause they'll be on to the summer stuff by now because, you know, it's barely spring. So
yeah. They like to move, they like to move ahead before things have even happened. So
yeah, they're always like 4 months ahead.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So this is your food warning.
Yep.
This is your food. Be forewarned. We are going to start talking food, and that will be the end of the podcast at that point. So
real food, not Easter eggs. The Easter eggs don't count because
no,
they're not. Most of that was not edible, even though it's all chocolate. This is the real food.
This is actual food you can order at a restaurant. We talked about this. I have not been to 1900 Park Fair. I don't know why I've never done 1900 Park. It just hasn't been, I guess, on my list of places to go. So. You know, but I'm looking at this food and feels like I need to go. Like this food looks fantastic.
Again, it's in the Grand Floridian, which like as much as everybody loves the Grand Floridian, it feels kind of out of the way because of where it is, right? Like there's no reason you're going to really end up at the Grand Floridian unless you're going there for a reservation or something, right?
Yeah, or going there for this reservation, right? So
yeah, well, that's what I mean is, you know, unless you deliberately plan to go there, which is fine. Yeah, this breakfast lineup is looking pretty good.
We got bread pudding with vanilla creme
anglaise.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Creme anglaise. Yeah. Oh, okay. I have to put those together. I watch a lot of cooking shows. You feel like I would know these things, but donut holes tossed with shimmer. I don't know what that means. Grand Floridian strawberry soup with fresh strawberries and whipped cream. I've heard that that's a classic at 1900. Double chocolate muffin. Okay. You got me double chocolate. Guava and cream cheese Danish. Cinnamon pull-apart bread. Ooh. Cinnamon pull-apart bread. You got me on that one right there.
So do you just take the whole thing of bread and take it back to your table?
Right. It's just, you just take a whole thing of it. Yeah. Beef and potato hash, classic eggs Benedict with hollandaise, carved ham, croissant breakfast pizza, which I think is that picture in the bottom right there.
Yeah, with the very flaky looking crust on that.
I've never heard of croissant breakfast pizza before, but based on that picture and the description, I want it. Just give me that.
I mean, again, it's just super flaky crust on your pizza. Yes,
please. Yeah, exactly. Smoked salmon, cheesy potato casserole, which again, cheesy and potato, you got me, dead to rights on that.
I know you would not try this, but I would give this a swing at the spiced tofu scramble with vegetables. I feel like that would be good, even if you don't like tofu.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I know you're like, nah, I'm not. With everything else on the menu, I'm not trying the tofu.
I'm good. I'm good. But then if we go to dinner, we've got peel and eat shrimp with cocktail sauce, which my wife would like destroy.
I love shrimp too. Yeah.
Yeah. My wife would love some shrimp. Tiana's gumbo. Is this the same gumbo they have at the Disneyland restaurant? Because I've heard it's really good.
I don't know because it's not called Tiana's Gumbo at Blue Bay, or I guess it may be because there's the new Tiana's restaurant.
That's what I'm saying. It's at Tiana's restaurant.
Okay, yeah, right, yeah. Because I've had the gumbo at Blue Bayou, but I don't know if it's the same because I haven't been there lately. Yeah,
that new Tiana restaurant at Disneyland, I've heard is getting like rave reviews, saying a lot of people saying it's like the best quick service.
So maybe if you want to have the same food as what they have in Disneyland, maybe going to the Grand Floridian is the right choice.
Well, I'm just getting this dish, right? So I think they have gumbo. I seem to remember when we talked about it, they had a Tiana's gumbo. I'm just pulling it up now to verify it so I'm not losing my mind. So they had a house gumbo there. Okay. And then a 7 greens. They have several different gumbos. So, you know, I don't know. Maybe it is the same. Maybe it's different. But, you know. Then they have baked
andouille sausage is good. But.
Andouille sausage, yes. Yeah. Baked salmon with saffron, lemon butter, carved prime rib, curry roasted chicken, roasted garlic sausage with tomatoes, herbs, and braised cabbage, porchetta with hunter sauce. I don't know what hunter sauce is, but you know, I'll eat that. Yeah. Sounds like it. A couscous salad with dried fruits, almonds, mint, and parsley, sun-dried tomato, and rosemary focaccia. Yes, please. Mashed potatoes, green beans, and glazed carrots. It's looking like a pretty good menu.
Yeah. I see it underneath all that. They have a picture of the strawberry soup.
Oh yeah. The strawberry soup.
That it just looks like, it looks almost like icing or something. Like I wonder what,
Everyone says really it's good though. Like it's apparently a classic thing there. I just have never had it. So
the fact that it just comes out of a spigot and it looks like you can just load up on it is an interesting prospect.
It's an interesting way to serve soup. Is it just in a big giant thing?
Yeah. Well, I'm guessing it's a cold soup if that's the case, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's cold soup. I'm not a big cold soup fan, but you know, I'd try that.
I mean, I don't know. I can give it a pass at breakfast, I feel.
Yeah. Well, and then, you know, you got a bunch of desserts here, which listen, it's Grand Floridian. So you have the Grand Floridian Bakery, which I've ordered things from several times for, you know, cakes and stuff like that. And they're excellent. So, you know, this thing like the toasted coconut cake, which is not my jam, but I know my wife would be into it and you would like it. Lemon blueberry cheesecake. That looks delicious. Vanilla cupcake, pretty straightforward cupcake, but the fudge brownie with the triple chocolate mousse, that's exactly where I'm going. That's where I'm going first.
That layer of mousse on it looks insane.
Yeah. It's almost as thick. It's like half the thickness of the brownie.
It's like half the brownie.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, listen, I'm not going to complain about that. Yeah. That sounds great to me.
Ooh, they got lavender lemonade. That's nice.
Yeah.
I've had that before. It's really good.
I've never had that, but I would try that. That sounds good. Yeah. All right. So we're going to jump off of Disney World and we're going to head over to Hong Kong because the Asian parks always have the most fun food. And I feel like we need to talk about this food.
I feel like if we talk about it enough, maybe somebody will hear us and be like, realize that they need to like start doing this more.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why they just do this at the Asian parks and not like here.
Are those Winnie the Pooh mochi? I bet they are.
Where
was the first thing I sawhat saw? The very first picture. I don't know what it are. Either that or they're steam buns, but
they are steam buns. Oh no, it says what is this? Italian gelato boat. Okay, so it's dim sum.
Oh no, they're dim sum. Okay. But they look like the characters from Winnie the Pooh. Like, come on.
They do. The like, Tigger one back there. Like, why did they even put the Pooh one up front? The Tigger one is way cooler. That's
because they make you look for the Tigger one.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Winnie the Pooh, and then oh my god, Tigger.
But and also this
over there too. Yeah.
This Italian gelato boat at Small World. I mean, look at that thing. I would destroy that thing. I would feel ill afterwards.
They call it a gelato boat. That's just like a taco with ice cream in it.
Yeah, it's a Choco. They made a Choco Taco, basically.
Choco Taco, yeah.
I miss Choco Taco.
But with Italian gelato in it. Wow.
I mean, listen, I'm not going to complain about that. I'm going straight to that. I like the shake too they have in the middle here that has kind of like the dripping going down the side. That looks really
Oh
good.
yeah, that is neat.
Yeah, it's a
And
colorful
it's
strawberry
too.
shake. Yeah, it's layered. Yeah, it's really cool how they like layered it together like that. So
yeah.
And then, I think we talked about the Frozen stuff before, but there's a lot of blue dye going on over at the World of Frozen.
Yeah.
So you have this blue drink of some sort, and then there's what is that? A candy apple snowball. Do you do candy apples? I'm not a candy apple guy.
Yeah, I've tried to like candy apples. They're not my thing. My brother really likes them. Like he will always go for a candy apple. I just can't.
I'll do a cut up candy apple. Like I'm not like the grab an apple and bite out of it kind of person. I'll eat a cut up apple, but I don't really like just like eating an apple. So like if it were cut up, which I know they do that, I think they'll cut it up for you, I believe. But I don't know, just not really my thing.
But then you destroy all the wonderful, artistry that they've done, to make it. But yeah, I don't know. I just candy apples are just not my thing.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I think that other thing it says is a Coronation Sundae, so it's
it's a sundae.
Yeah, so
I thought it was like a shake.
Yeah, some kind of blue ice cream in there, I guess.
It almost looks like slushy though.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe it's slushy and ice cream combined, which again is pretty good.
I mean, I'm not going to complain about slushy. So
yeah.
All right, well, that's all I got for this week. I don't know if you have anything else you want to talk about, but
no, I think I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll give a preview of my trip sometime soon here. I mean,
because you're
I got a while still. I got 2 months,
Yeah. So yeah, you're still in the planning phases. That's fair.
Well, I mean, we got all the dining reservations done, and I talked about it here. And, I like that we don't have to do park reservations anymore. That is nice.
Mm-hmm.
That we can just, kind of wing it. But it's going to, 2 of the days that we're there, they have the extra evening hours, for the deluxe resort guests. But I don't think we're going to have nighttime childcare anymore because of the changes to our party. So there were plans for the adults to go out back after the kids went to sleep and then, go check out after hours stuff. But I don't think that's going to happen this time, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. We had the opportunity to do the extra hours stuff too a couple of times, or there was a couple of nights where it was available. We were there too, but we ended up not doing it because by that point we were just tired anyway. We wanted to go back to the room. So yeah.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. So we'll talk more about my trip as we get closer though.
Yeah.
I feel like we talked about it a lot already. I don't even know what else I can talk about, but we'll figure it out. All right, let's wrap up, Trevor.
All right. As usual, if you guys want to reach out to us, you can always find us at welcomehomepodcast@gmail.com. We love getting your listener questions, your trip reports, all that kind of stuff. So, just, keep emailing us that stuff. We love hearing from you guys. And on Facebook, you can find us as Welcome Home Podcast. YouTube, you can find us as Welcome Home Podcast. And on Instagram, you can find us as Welcome Home Pics. Make sure on Facebook that you check out our group, Welcome Home Disney Waitlist. As we talked about earlier in the show, a lot of our listener questions come from there. People post memes in there. There is also lots of great Disney experts in there because we got a lot of awesome listeners that are also better versed at Disney than us in a lot of different ways. We are not the Disney experts by any means. We enjoy Disney, but we got a lot of great people that are in the group that
pay more attention than we do.
Yeah. And if you're planning a trip, it's good to get a lot of different perspectives on things. So, it's a great group to come and ask those kinds of questions. So, please check it out. If you want to help support the show, you can go to store.welcomehomepodcast.com and check out our different merch. Love seeing the tees, people are wearing when they're going on their trips to the parks. So, if you want to pick up some t-shirts for your next trip, or if you need a fanny pack, or even, just a mug for enjoying your morning coffee while you're listening to the podcast, that's a good idea too. So, please have a look at what we got in there. And then also we do have a Patreon. So you can go to patreon.com/welcomehomepod. You can check out our different levels of Patreon support there. And Patreon has exclusive merch that is not available on the main store. And all of our Patreon supporters also get access to the Discord server, which is yet another place that we love talking with you guys. And we get questions from there and lots of interesting discussion. So, if that's of interest to you, please check out our Patreon. Last but not least,
I feel like there's more like non-Disney talk in the Discord than there is Disney talk.
Well, there is the whole off-topic section. So
that's true. That's a popular section though. So
yeah. There is definitely a lot of different discussion, but it covers the whole spectrum of stuff that people talk about around the podcast. So,
absolutely, yeah.
Last but not least, if you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, leave us a 5-star review because it does help more people find the show. And we do love hearing, people's thoughts on the show as well. So, if you, or iTunes will let you write a review. I don't know why Spotify doesn't let you do that yet, but, if you leave us a review on iTunes, we love seeing it and we love reading what you guys think.
Yeah. I don't have any reviews to read this week. We have gotten a lot of reviews lately. I think I read the Damon Burner account one. So
yeah. So maybe I need to make a Burner account and write a review. I don't even know if I could. I don't use iTunes at all. So
I don't either. So yeah. So don't forget to subscribe to Welcome Home Podcast so you can remind us every time we release a new episode. You can find our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, which I believe is going away, by the way. So you hear me say Google Podcasts, I believe it's going to YouTube, so use that one. Amazon Music, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube Music, just about any place you can find podcasts, you can find us. Just a reminder to our listeners, Welcome Home Podcast is for entertainment only. We are not employed by the Walt Disney Company, and as such, all opinions we express on the show are our own. So please consult a Disney cast member or DVC representative for more information about anything we talked about today. A huge thank you to our sponsor, DVC Rental Store, and of course, World of DVC for sponsoring our show and being good partners to us over the years. Join us next time for more Disney Parks discussion. Of course, more DVC talk. We hope to see you all real soon.
This is Skipper Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, signing off from Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Do a huddle when we hit its hair. How she can cuddle is no man's affair. I looked around from pole to pole, found her in a sugar bowl.